What's up YouTube, Dale here from Zephyr, and today I am bringing you our final spooky profile to help celebrate Halloween week, as today is officially Halloween. So what did I decide to end it on? Well, one of the most nostalgic cards around, and that is of course the Summoned Skull. Now, Summoned Skull is one of my favourite monsters ever. Like, originally when Yugioh summons this card, I was like, oh my god, this is amazing! Now, keep in mind, this is like after Dark Magicians. I already know Dark Magician is the ace monster, but this as a runner-up is just, absolutely amazing. And there is some Yugioh nostalgia throughout this list as well. This list is designed for Genesys. If you want to modernize it, one of the best and most consistent ways to modernize this deck is that you end up using Dippity and you use the Fiendsmith package and the whole engine and everything else in between. Now, this is actually a really fun challenge trying to put this together for Genesys, as there are some cards in here that are like, whoa, this takes up a little bit more points than you would normally assume would happen, but it's actually really, really fun to do it, and you do have a couple of different options, and I'll show you some alternatives as I go through the list. Now, this list currently counts at 99 points. I know, wild, we're pushing it to the limits, but let's see what we've got. So I'm going to dive headfirst into profile, show you everything, and explain everything as we go. So please smash that like button, hit that notification bell, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any more upcoming content. Don't worry, it also includes the side deck as well, so you're getting everything you need for Genesys Summoned Skull. So starting off with 2 Summoned Skull. Now this card actually does have, funnily enough, a bit of an errata, because this card does state, and I'm just going to zoom in a little bit more because I love this card. I love this artwork as well. This is one of the cards that I don't own as a secret rare from BPT, the original tins back in the day, which I really do want to, so... Anyway, I digress. It's had a bit of an errata. So in its actual text, it says right now, a fiend with dark powers. For confusing the enemy, among the fiend-type monsters, this monster boasts considerable force. Like, I love that bit of text. But on the errata, it has like a little bit in the bottom that says it's always treated as an Archfiend card. So Summoned Skull is technically an Archfiend card and an Archfiend deck, which is why you can utilize a lot more Archfiend cards, which is something I really wanted to trial out. I used to play Archfiend Heiress. You can also play Archfiend Commander, which was really, really kind of cool. But I thought to kind of give it a fighting edge, you kind of want to be able to utilize the Primite package in here as well, and everything else in between. But you can do if you want to, and I did do a build like probably 2-3 years ago now that utilized Tour Guide with Fiendish Rhino, and the reason you would do that is you would send Archfiend Heiress from deck to grave and then search out an Archfiend monster. Speaking of which, we are playing 3 Archfiends Awakening. So this is the ritual version of Summoned Skull. So he has a ritual, a fusion, a synchro, and an Xyz. In this build, I've been able to include the original, the ritual, the Xyz, and the synchro. Like, to get the fusion in, it does get a little bit awkward because you do need to start playing like... So you need to be playing sub-engines that help you synchro summon. To help you, Xyz is pretty natural with the deck, Ritual's pretty natural with the deck, but then, like, to fuse as well, you need to be playing sub-engines, which is why I didn't want to go too overboard. So this card, and again, the artworks on all of the Archfiend monsters are absolutely incredible. So you can ritual summon this card with Contract of the Abyss. This card's name becomes Summoned Skull on the field, but it's still treated as an Archfiend card. It can't be destroyed by battle except battle with a ritual monster, and it can't be destroyed by monster effect except of a ritual monster. If this ritual summon card you control is sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card, you get to special summon a Summoned Skull from the hand, deck, or graveyard. Now, I say Yugioh. This is probably more so like grandpa style, but what I thought was really, really kind of cool for this deck is to play the Shining Sarcophagus engine. Now, a very small engine, as like monetary value comes into it, it will be a little bit expensive because you would need 3 Dark Magician Girl, the Magician's Apprentice. This one's a little bit expensive. It's kind of like £15 to £20 a copy, but the idea is that this can also be as a budget alternative Apprentice Illusion, because this is acting as just a level 6 extender with a little bit more. So this one lets you special summon it from the hand by discarding a card, and if you do, you then get to add Shining Sarcophagus, and when you add Shining Sarcophagus, you can then activate it to add Archfiend's Advent. And then Archfiend's Advent is your Summoned Skull's version in the Shining Sarcophagus, and you get to normal summon it. As long as you control Shining Sarcophagus, you get to normal summon it. On the other benefit as well is other monsters you control gain 500 attack, and then during your turn only. So if this card is normal or special, you get to target one monster your opponent controls and you take control of it. Which, if you've seen the Vampire profile, is actually really, really important for this deck because you can utilize a card called, once I get to it, Dampier the Vampire Sheridan. So you'd already have a level 6 with the Archfiend's Advent or the Dark Magician Girl, and then you just get to go, okay, cool, take one of your opponent's monsters, overlay both of those to go into Vampire, no matter what level it is, as long as it's not a rank, and you're in a good stead. So this, I can understand, it is a bit of an expensive engine, so if you wanted to take it out, because this is going to be more of a casual deck, like you're not going to be, you're probably not going to want to be putting hundreds of pounds into a deck like this. Like straight away, the 3 Dark Magician Girls take you up to £60, which is crazy. So Apprentice Illusion can go into that place, Tour Guide can go in that place, as mentioned previously, so you'd play 3 Tour Guide, you would then play 1 Fiendish Rhino and 1 Archfiend Heiress. In doing so, you would then unlock the capabilities of a rank 3 engine. And I'm going to show you those now because we're not actually playing them in the deck. But the rank 3 engine that I would highly advise you playing if you did play Tour Guide is DDD's Stone King Darius. And the reason you would do this is it then can lead you into a Triple D Divisor King Deuce Mach and X, which would end up having 3 materials. So you can detach 2 materials, steal one of your opponent's monsters, attach it as a material, and then you still have 2 more materials to detach and then steal another one. So you'd get 2 absorbs off of the back of the Deuce Ex Machina. On top of that as well, it would then also open up the option to play Dragon Gate, and then Dragon Gate can turn itself into Zeus, which is really cool. So that's an alternative budget option if you want to be going down that route as well. Moving on to the ritual side of the deck, so to try and get to your Advent, you're going to want to go with 3 Manju. Now, you have loads of ways to get to your Archfiend Advent, because you do play Preparation of Rites, you do play just other natural ways to get to it, whereas your Manju is going to be focused on getting your ritual spell, being your advanced ritual art, or of course your Contract with the Abyss. So Contract with the Abyss is pretty standard as all ritual spells usually are. So this can use ritual summon any dark ritual monster, but you tribute monster from the hand or field whose levels exactly equal, which is quite easy to do. The advanced ritual art is the better one of the two in my opinion, because it lets you send a normal monster from the deck to the grave as the ritual fodder. So send summon skull and off you go. 3 Preparation of Rites, so this one will allow you to add the Archfiend directly from the deck, but then it can also add back one of your ritual spells from the graveyard in a grind state. And then on to, again, it's relatively cheap to get this engine, so this one I still advise you to play. The issue is the points allocation on Primite Lordy Load is 33 points. So you'd want to be going for 3 Primite Dragon Ether Beryl. This would then in turn lead you to your Primite Lordy Load, which is 33 points, very costly, which is why we're only playing 1 of it. But then the other ways that you can utilize this deck is you can utilize Primite Raw, which I would advise you to play 3 of for consistency. But the idea is that you can pay 2,000 life points, declare a normal monster card name. That declared normal monster and Primite monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle until the end of your opponent's turn, which is actually quite useful because it means that your Beryl becomes like a bit of an annoying little bit of a towers, as does your Summon Skull. But the primary effect you're going to want to use is if you control no monsters, you special summon 1 declared normal monster from the deck in defense session, so you get direct access to your Summon Skull, which can lead you to your rank 6 plays. It can also lead you into defensive plays in general. Synchro plays sometimes if you want to open up the door to some Synchro level 8s. But then it also has the secondary effect to banish this card from the graveyard if your opponent normal summons a monster, to then target a normal monster you control or in your graveyard, and then banish a monster from the field with less attack. So your normal monster is Summon Skull with 2,500 attack, so you can pretty much deal with the majority of normal summons in the Genesys kind of era right now. Then 2 Primite Drill Beam and 1 Primite Fusion. You don't have to play the Fusion is completely flexible. This again kind of comes down to if you want to play Tour Guide or not, and then how much you want to lean on the Tour Guide itself. Other ways to help you get synchros if you really want to focus on that, or if you wanted to focus on the fusion side of the Summon Skull, you would then play a fusion style engine. So what I mean by that is you'd play like King of the Swamp, you would play Polymerization, you'd kind of look at ways of utilizing that a little bit more than the synchro orientated cards that I'm playing in the form of the Plague Spreader Zombie. Now the reason I chose to go with Plague Spreader Zombie is you can go with Red Resonator, but when you look at it, your Red Resonator would be your normal summon, which would then special summon down either Beryl or Manju, which both then wouldn't trigger their effect. So you don't want to use your normal summon on that. The benefit of something like Plague Spreader Zombie is if you discard it off of Twin Twisters from the side deck, if you discard it off of your Dark Magician Girl, that would then open up the door. Now, it doesn't need to go into the Synchro level 8, so you're kind of trying to utilize it for a Synchro level 6 to get into your Archfiend, but if you did want to start utilizing Synchro level 6s, you could do, Synchro level 8s, you could do. You could also use Assault Synchron, but the Assault Synchron is 5 points. You need to find some space in the main deck to kind of adapt it a little bit more. And that would just be one of the ones that doesn't need you to use your normal summon. It doesn't need you to rely on the Dark Magician Girl. But even then, the Dark Magician Girl, if you traded it for Apprentice Illusion, would still do the exact same job for you. And if you wanted to get a bit of hand advantage, you could search out Dark Magician. As I said previously, another build I did utilize Red Ice Fusion, but the issue with that was Red Ice Fusion kind of like shut you for the entire turn, so it kind of got it a little bit more awkward. And like I said, this was done, I'm pretty sure the profile was done before Links. Might have even been a little bit longer than that. But the idea is that Plague Spreader gives you that ability to keep cycling back it, because yes, of course, it gets banished when it leaves the field, but you've got 2 copies of it, they're 0 points. The idea is if you get it in the graveyard, great. If you have to use a normal summon on it, that's fine as well. Open up the doors to some Synchro level 8s can also help you out. But more times than not, you want to use this as your discard fodder if you open up the Dark Magician Girl, because then you've got the ability to go to a rank 6 and then move on from there. Another way to help you, because we do play quite a few normal summons, and what I mean by that is your Shining Sarcophagus Archfiend is going to be a normal summon. Manju is a normal summon. Your Primite Ether Beryl is a normal summon. And if you do want to, you can normal summon your Plague Spreader Zombie. I decided to go with free Time Terror Morganite, which gives you that ability for an additional normal summon. It also helps you out with the grind game, because being able to draw 2 rather than 1 can be really, really helpful. So this one kind of really does give you a bit more utility. It means that if you do see Dark Magician Girl plus a Manju, you can still go for your rank 6, and you can also then open up the door for your normal Manju plays. You go for a Synchro level 6, and I'll show you at the end of the video, because a lot of people will be like, well, how do you turn the Dark Magician Girl plus the Archfiend with a Manju into anything else? It does get a little bit awkward. It does require more of your hand to do so, but the idea is if you want to go into a high Wave King, because it does require 2 Fiends and Dark Magician Girl is a spellcaster, what you do is you Synchro into the Archfiend Synchro monster, which is a Fiend, using your Manju plus your Plague Spreader, and then you would go into, you'd overlay that with the Archfiend, and that would then give you your rank 6 plays. But you've got a lot to play around with depending on what you want to do. I've then got 3 Ultimate Slayer. Now, I was undecided if I wanted to make this deck like a uber aggressive Go Second deck. And one card that I actually forgot about completely, which would have been brilliant in Vampires, is Spell Card Monster Reborn. So it's the quick play that lets you target a monster in your opponent's graveyard and either banish it or summon it to your field. And I thought, damn, that card would be really good in that deck, because you just summon it back and then you just go into Vampire. So like, you don't care what you summon back as long as it has a level, and you're in a very good position. So that's something I thought I'd consider. It's also one of these decks that I'm not playing Super Poly in, because the points allocation is quite high. So being able to play a card like Ultimate Slayer can still be very, very useful for you. Something that I would probably try and consider is, what I found is I wanted to play in like Nadir Servant, but that was 33 points. I wanted to play Herald of the Arc Light, but that was 50 points. And then I was like, okay, well, what other card can I play that doesn't use a normal summon, that can also get me access to a ritual spell? Now, unfortunately, Manju is 1 point, which is absolutely fine, but it does use your normal summon. And the only other thing you could play is, I think it's like extra Foolish Barrel of Goods, which is 0 points, but again, you need Herald to get you where you need to go to get your ritual spell, and then that's 50 points. So it's very, very challenging putting these decks together, and this is what I love about Genesys format right now, is it opens up the door to a lot of decks like Summon Skull, like Vampires, that might not be as effective in a modernized game, but could still be very, very fun in a Genesys format that not a lot of people are prepared for or even know what they do. And then it gives you these creative options to kind of adapt it a little bit more to what Genesys now allows you to play, like Mirage and Nightmare if you wanted to go down the route of something like that for Dark Worlds. And don't worry, I will be bringing you a Dark World update and kind of go from there. The final card is 3 Mulchomi Fuelos, so 7 points on this one. It's going to become a lot easier to get hold of post the legendary 5D decks. The reason that these and the Shining Sarcophagus cards are in different seeds is because the Shining Sarcophagus cards belong in Shining Sarcophagus, and the Mulchomi Fuelos is currently in my main deck right now, which is DDDs. So just so that I don't lose track of them, they get to go, or that's why they're in different sleeves. But that's pretty much it for like the main deck itself. Like I said, there's a couple of different alternatives depending on what you want to try and achieve with this deck. Modernized, like I said, if you wanted to modernize this for the game and you're like, I just want to take Summon Skull to my normal locals, you can do. One of the best ways is through the Fiendsmith package, because they're all Fiends. You can use Dippity off of the back of the Primite engine. Dippity is a level 4 light Fiend, which then straight away gets you into your Fiendsmith package. Moving on to the extra decks. So let's start off with the Synchros. So for the synchros you're actually going to want to summon, we are playing Coral Dragon, Charge Warrior, and Archfiend's Call. So again, as I mentioned, look at the artwork on Archfiend's Call. It's so good. You've got like this demonic, what I want to say is like an Archfiend portal, and then Summon Skull, like either standing guard or just open it up, and it actually gives me vibes of Stranger Things, because I've literally just been watching Stranger Things, a little bit of a sidetrack there, but this kind of gives me Vecna vibes, just saying. So if you watch Stranger Things, you'll get that reference. If not, whew. Anyway, so this card's name becomes Summon Skull on the field. It's still treated as an Archfiend card. Your opponent cannot target any Summon Skull you control with card effects, and if this Synchro Summon card you control is sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card, you get special on a Summon Skull from the hand, deck, or grave. Stardust Charge Warrior was just the level 6 that lets you draw cards and then attack all your opponent's special summon monsters, so clear them all off. Coral Dragon was one of them ones that lets you discard a card to destroy a card, but then also draw a card when it's sent from the field to the grave. And it's a tuner, so if you wanted to open up the door again for like higher level synchro level 10s, you could do. I'm not the biggest fan of this synchro element. It kind of feels a little bit more forced in this build. But I feel you could very easily make this like pure rank 3, rank 6 plays, which is really, really good, which is why you'll see that I play predominantly rank 6 cards, which I'm about to show you now. So for the rank 6, we do play the 1 Archfiend's Ascent. Again, look at this artwork. Like, if ever there has been better artwork for a classic card to be updated in, these are right up there. Like, you've got the Xyz units floating around him. He's got this black, purple thunder. It just looks like he's been upgraded. It looks like he's got a power boost, and it looks so menacing. I love the green portal below it, and yeah. Artworks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Are just, some of them are just, oh, so good. So it becomes Summon Skull on the field, as the always, but it's still treated as an Archfiend card. If Summon Skull or Skulls you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you detach your material from this card instead. If this XZ Summon card you control is sent to the grave by the opponent's card, you get special on a Summon Skull from the hand, deck, or grave. Dampier, I've already told you about like how much I love this card. In a rank 6 style deck, this card's amazing. Like, especially if you want to play Mind Control, preview in the side deck, or just steal your opponent's monsters with any of your cards, Archfiends, it works out so well. Then just some generic rank 6s that I haven't played for absolutely ages, but I thought was really kind of cool. You could play Photon Strike Bowser. I actually really like Gauntlet Launcher. So detach your material and then target a monster your opponent controls and destroy it. Not a hard once per turn, so you detach 2, pop 2 is great. Utopia Beyond. Just go for a full swing. So if this card is XE summoned, the attack of all monsters your opponent controls becomes 0. And then once per turn during either player's turn, you get to detach a material from this card, target a face-up XEs you control, and a Utopia monster in your graveyard, banish the first, and if you do, special summon the second, and then gain 1,250 life points. You're not going to be using that second effect, but this could be one of them cards that could be very good if you were to play Dark Rule No More in the side deck. I'm currently not playing Dark Rule No More in the side deck, but if you wanted to, this is the way you clear off the entire field. Classic Constella Ptolemy M7, just to be able to return a card from the grave or from the field to the hand. Wallow, founder of the Drudge Dragons. So the main kind of idea behind this one is monsters you control gain 100 attack and defense for each card in your opponent's graveyard. You get a quick effect to target one card in your opponent's graveyard and detach 1 or 2 materials. If you detach 1, you return it to the deck. If you detach 2, you get to target that monster and special summon it to face up on the field. But if you targeted a spell or trap, you get to set it to your field, which is really kind of cool. And then Triple D High Wave King Caesar, or Wave Hive King Caesar. This one's a little bit more specific. It does take up 20 points. So that's why I'm saying if you decide to go down the rank 3 engine, so the rank 3 of Stone King, Divisor King, and Dragon Gate, then you could take this out, and your 20 points you then save off of this could then become Zeus, because you've got Stone King can work into Divisor King Machinex, and that gets you a Zeus with 2 clears. Or you could just go straight to Dragon Gate, and again, that gives you a clear of, that gives you 4 materials for a clear twice of Zeus. The one Primite Dragon Never Bezelus. You don't have to play this. Again, it's just an option. I'm playing the Fusion. If you don't play the Fusion, don't play this card. You open up a space in your extra deck, and that could be your Photon Strike Bowser. And then your targets to be sent off of Ultimate Slayer, Natis and Garura, so draw and then destroy, negate, and then return. You can very easily play Valon if you wanted to, if you want to deal with more spells and traps. Like, you've got a little bit more flexibility. Nothing in this extra deck takes up points apart from Elder Entity Unts and Triple D Wave High King Caesar. So you've got a little bit more flexibility there. Moving on to the side deck. So for the side deck, I decided to go with Going First cards. I've gone with 2 Dragon's Mind and 1 Primite Scream. So obviously the Primite Scream is searchable, which is why we're playing that one. And I felt that the Dragon's Mind would fit up the space. So I've got 1 guaranteed search, and then this one just relies on me to have like Archfiend's Awakening or Summon Skull left on the field. So I thought that was kind of doable. And then the fact of the matter is you get to reset it as well, which could be very, very useful. Classic DD Crow. Twin Twisters, so just some form of spell and trap removal. As I mentioned in my previous Genesys builds, you would play the spell and trap removal that is the most effective for your deck. So Twin Twisters, if you have the discard fodder, go for it. If you don't have the discard fodder, you play Cosmic Cyclone, both for 0 points, really is up to you. Going second cards, 3 Mind Control and 3 Kaijus of your choosing. You can play any Kaiju you want, but remember, Gameciel is the only one that has attack less than Summon Skull. Oh no, that's not true. This one or Kumungus are the only 2 that have attack less than Summon Skull. These are your go second cards. I feel that Kaijus are just incredible in the Genesys format, especially if Lunar Lights are still running around. You need to have a way to out that card in the Liger Dancer, otherwise you're going to have a bad time. Mind Control, I think, is just great. Like 0 points, wild. And then being able to kind of take control of one of your opponent's monsters, again, either tribute it off, and that will get you into your Summon Skull, absolutely fine. So if you take something that doesn't have a level, do that. And if you don't, you then get to work your way into the Vampire, and I still think Vampire is just such an incredibly good card. It highly makes me want to play 2 Vampires in the extra deck, but that would then come down to if I take out the Plague Spreader zombies and I don't focus on any synchros whatsoever and just purely go for rank 6 turbo, which this deck can do very, very easily, or even make it as a go second deck, which is what I like, because you go second and then you just go into different Xyzes and then work your way into Zeus and just clear, because you can hold back a lot of resource in your hand with this deck as well, so it doesn't make that big of a damning issue, really. Anyway, that is it for the entire profile. If you do have any questions, by all means, comments down below. I'm more than happy to answer them. That has been our week of Halloween. I would very much like to do this for like Christmas, like every seasonal thing we could do. I would kind of like to do it for Thanksgiving, even though we don't have Thanksgiving over here in Europe. I still think it's kind of like a very good holiday to kind of celebrate for the American viewers as well. I just don't know what I would build. Like, I know there is a pendulum monster that is designed around Thanksgiving, which is really quite funny. But it's just a vanilla, so it doesn't really add much. But let me know if you have any themed type of decks that you would want to see for like Christmas or I'm trying to think what else, like Christmas, Easter, if you celebrate it, that would be kind of cool. But I think Halloween's a really fun one. And if there was like a fireworks style deck, I suppose I could do a Bonfire Night. But I think Bonfire Night is probably more I'm pretty sure Bonfire Night is EU more than it is, UK actually. Anyway, I digress. Thank you so much for watching. If you do have any questions, comments below, always happy to answer them. Hopefully you've enjoyed this week of, I say week of horror, but the week of spook. I think spook is better than horror because I just think these look spooky. I decided to do it off of the artworks than anything else, and I think it's really kind of cool. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time, as absolutely always, stay safe, and of course, happy dueling.